When I found out I was pregnant with Loyal, I was in Florida. My first thought was probably not the best one, but it was like, why now? Out of any time in my life that I could have gotten pregnant, like this time where I have nothing to give this baby. Using was my life. So I called my mom one day and I begged her to let me come home. She bought me a plane ticket for maybe a couple of days later. And then I came out here, maybe 5 months pregnant. My mom let me stay with her for a while. I couldn't stop using even her house. I used my whole pregnancy up to the day before I had Loyal. You know, I thought they were gonna take Loyal at the hospital. The doctor asked me, she's like, have you been using any drugs? And I was like, I've been trying to stop, I really have. And I kind of broke down crying, please don't take my baby. They never took him. And I went home with him and I felt so blessed and lucky, but I didn't stop using. Even when I got home, I still found myself, I needed it. I felt like it was the only thing that could keep me awake. What if Loyal woke up in the middle of the night and I wasn't awake? You know, and I just made excuses for why I needed to use. I was thinking Loyal's dad, who I had talked to again, said he was gonna come be the family and whatnot. Well, he got out of jail and never came. You know, when that happened, it kind of like threw me. Like I was already kind of losing it, starting to see things a little bit. But then after that happened, I really started seeing things. And I thought there was stuff in my legs and my skin. And then I started seeing things in Loyal's skin. And that's when I ended up calling for the ambulance. I guess I was really close to where like the social service area is, and I could hear them talking. They're about to take Loyal. And then when they came in, police officer made me give him to him, so I gave him up.
We got a call for our first placement. She said, hi, Alicia, I'm a social worker, and are you able to take in an 8-month-old boy? And I remember saying, like, yes, of course we can. And so she said, all I can tell you is he's been cleared from the hospital, and he's in good health. His name is Loyal. We just had the most like surreal night of someone's little boy is in our home right now and is with us, and we don't know anything about him. All of a sudden, here we are, and we're gonna jump in and take care of him. And I remember he was laying on our rug his first night doing like tummy time, and I remember me just thinking like, what did we do? And what are we doing?
Yeah, that's a good job.
So Loyal got taken in the end of October, and in January, it was my drug treatment worker. She called. She's like, you're still using. If you don't get into treatment now, you're gonna lose your kid. She's like, so what are you doing today? Why don't you just go to Cherry Hill? And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And she's like, just pack your bag. So I started packing my bag with her on the phone. Miss Veronica stayed on the phone with me the whole time, just making sure. She's like, are you almost there? I'm gonna check on you in a couple days. And if it wasn't for her, I would have never gotten in. When I was in there, I was in there. And I stayed.
I was told, like, okay, it's time to do visits with his mom. They told me to go to this office, but that I couldn't see her. On like the third or fourth visit, I had dropped Loyal off and I had left. It was for an hour, and then I came back and she comes out and she's walking down the hallway to me. And I remember kind of panicking, like, I don't think I'm supposed to see you. This is against the rules. Like, this isn't supposed to happen.
It was hard just to see who my son was with. And then she was so perfect. Like, she's just like a little Barbie, right? And like, I guess I was envious that I couldn't be that.
I just remember telling her, like, hey, I want you to know I am not trying to steal him from you, and that I'm here to help him and help you.
In my addict brain, I'm still thinking this lady wants my kid. It just was what it was. You know, I was still super in my addiction. But once I got sober, you know, visits were a little easier. I still had this, you know, worry in my brain because I don't have him all the time. And like, I just worried about this bond that they were creating. And like, that was really hard for me.
There was 2 different times where we were approached by the social worker, and she asked hey, are you willing to adopt Loyal? Coming from a system that's so pro reunification, and it kept throwing us off. I can't even really explain how conflicting that felt. To be ready, they were saying in a few weeks he's gonna go back to mom. Like he's gonna go home to mom. And to having to like prepare our hearts for that, to them all of a sudden saying like, oh, okay, now can you adopt?
I was at Magnolia. Her name was Shinani. She made it a point to tell my CPS worker that I was acting out. So my CPS worker calls me in there. She's like, listen, do you really want your baby back? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, you need to start acting like it, because Alicia wants to adopt your kid. And if you don't get your act together, I'm going to let her. And that was hard, dude. That was, oof. Hearing that, my whole heart just sank. I could remember thinking, I'm like, wait, I thought she didn't want my kid. When did this change? And like after that, it was really hard for me to like even just look at her. While I was in recovery, I met this girl named Nikki. She had a really close relationship with her foster family. And at first I thought that was so weird. I was like, I didn't know how she could do it. One day she broke it down. She's like, they can be your best advocate. They can be your knight in shining armor when it comes down to it. They can really be there when you need them to be there. Like, I just didn't believe it until I started seeing it with her. One day the kids were sick, and immediately what did the foster parents do is they brought over some medicine for her and the baby. It wasn't just about the baby, it was about getting them both well. And like, it made me look at it differently, you know, like she had this sweet family, this sweet foster parents that were so there for her. And it made me look at Alicia like, she's obviously doing this out of pure love. Like, yes, he's part of their family, but he's also my family too, you know? And like, it just kind of had me look at things different.
All of a sudden I could tell like, oh, she's looking at me differently, and she's talking with me more. She's sharing more, and she's sharing about her personal life, and she's opening up more. It just like filled me with hope of like what this could be. Like this could be something so beautiful, because now she's opening herself up to me. Now how can we work together to see Loyal like flourish and feel so loved as he transitions from being with us to going home with mom.
Something I learned in recovery was like, yeah, I did everything for Loyal, but I did everything for me first. Because if I don't make myself right and I don't get right, I can't be anything for Loyal. Because if you're just doing it to get him back, once you get him back, what are you going to go do? You're just going to go back and use. You have to want to better yourself, because you know that your kid doesn't need, and you don't need that type of lifestyle anymore. It's not doing anything for you or the people around you. You're pretty.
2 nights before Loyal was going back to his mom, we invited this community of people to come to the house to just pray over Loyal. And we said, bring your kids, because they've been a part of the process and they love Loyal. And we invited this group of people who over the last 1.5 years were with us through the ups and downs. And all of our kids like prayed over him and for his future and for his mom. And then the adults sat around a table and we just prayed scripture over him, and we prayed that we would continue to be a part of his life, and we prayed for Jerry Lee by name, and that their bond would grow and that there would be healing in there. Even I was crying and I couldn't pray, and I just remember having people who prayed for me, because I said I can't pray tonight. And so I had just friends around who prayed for me on behalf of Loyal. And so yeah, it's something I look back on and I couldn't do it without him.
February 28th, I got him back. That was great.
We went into the house living room area, came in, and Jerry Lee and I sat down with Loyal there. I just shared with her that I was really proud of her. And I said, you did the hard work. And I'm really proud of you for your persistence, what you put through to get your son back. And I said, I just want you to know I will not reach out to you. If you want to continue this, then you can contact me, but we would love to still be a part of your life and Loyal's life. And then I drove in the car. I got in the car and I drove away, and rightly so, it was pouring rain and I was sobbing in the car driving away. But I waited till I got in that driver's seat and didn't shed a tear because I did not want to ruin what was such a beautiful moment for her.
So like 3 weeks after I got full custody of Loyal that day was like saying he missed them and he wanted to see them, which I'm not gonna lie, that was a little hard for me because I was all in my lovey mode. But I reached out and I texted Alicia and I said, can we FaceTime?
Oh, my heart, just to see him so happy with his mom and doing well. Like it just brought so much joy. He wanted to show Rue and Theo all of his toys that he had at his new house with Mom. And then they kind of like scattered, and then Jerry Lee was like, hey, so I wanted to ask if you guys would consider being Loyal's godparents.
They've already been like basically his parents so far, you know, like in a sense. And like, why not just continue that? But like, they're his godparents. I'm his real mom, and then they're the godparents, right? Like, it just seems like that's the way it's supposed to be.
Of course, we were like, yes, we would love to. And at that point, I didn't know what it even looked like. But I was like, doesn't matter. Any opportunity to continue to be a part of both of their lives was something that we really wanted.
You know, they've raised him so good the times they had with him, and he was so happy and like just a playful and vibrant child. And like when I got him back, he was just full of life and just sweet, and he could have came back any kind of ways, you know, and he didn't come back broken. He came back perfect. Why wouldn't I want to keep that side of him still in his life?
Through this journey that's full of both like brokenness and such joy, God just kept working. So as God was shifting our hearts from, oh, we're going to adopt, to like, now let me show you how to love this other family and welcome them into yours. It was like God continually showing me the gospel in my own life, how much I needed it, and how I became stranger to family to him. It was this act of him teaching me, how do you take stranger and love them into family? But first I had to let God root out all of that in me for me to then see, oh, this is what you have for us. It's not for us just to add a little person to our family, but to grow our family through their extended family.